Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Parody Podcast. I'm here today with my hosts, Six and Saxton Hale, the returning.
Oh, yes, the return.
And our guest, is it Sergeant Hoovy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a little while. Bringing back some old guests, some old hosts. We're doing this as a little end of the decade sort of thing. Well, decade's ended. This is a new year, new podcast, new stuff. So, why don't we start it off with bringing back some people?
Exactly.
Or at least, that was my idea. Yeah.
I'm back, and I actually might be back for a little while before I leave again. I'm very busy, but I'm glad to be back after such a long time. So we have a good set of topics, and we're gonna run over throughout the entire year and see, all the talk about some of the highlights. So we probably can't talk about it all in one podcast, but we'll try to get through as much as we can today.
Duck2Yummy asks, I've heard that Saxton Hale was going to be involved. Yes, he is. He's right here,
yes,
Sax.
I'm right here.
Our boy.
I'm the admin, alright?
Yes, that's Saxton Hale. I am your boy Jack. We have...
I, of course, am the Career 6, otherwise known as the motherfucking mailman.
And our guest today is Sergeant Hoovy.
Hello.
Yeah. So, y'all want to start this off with, the thing I found out a couple minutes ago?
Sure.
Yeah, apparently some Captain America actress was charged with murder after fatally stabbing her mother.
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
It's the
That's
entire
the whole
thing.
story. Yeah, she was, Molly Fitzgerald was arrested Tuesday by police, charged with second-degree murder. She was accused
Jesus
of fatally
Christ.
stabbing
What?
her 68-year-old mother.
Jesus, who does that?
Yeah. So, that's it. That's the entire story. She just stabbed somebody. She stabbed her mother.
Oh god.
That's the entire
Also-
thing.
Yeah. Alright, let's actually get to the topics, not the stuff I found in 2
So
minutes.
we'll run it down. Six will be introducing the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Alright, so let's start this off. I don't know what I'm doing with my voice here. So, obviously, the Omega Giga Chad, the Oracle of the Pizza Apocalypse, Papa John himself just announced for his New Year's resolution that he will attempt to eat 50 pizzas in 1 month.
This is a trilogy at this point. This is the third time the Oracle of Papa John has reoccurred onto the podcast. I am extremely curious to see what he's going to do, how long he's going to live.
I just realized he's rising up like a phoenix right after his wife divorced him. He's coming back harder. He's going after those pizzas.
Nothing can
Take
stop
everything
him.
for him.
Nothing can.
It's like he's Thanos and the pizza places are his fucking infinity stones.
Also, you know what else happened? The person who created, the main person who owned Domino's recently just died.
Oh no, Papa John's gonna go for him.
No, a
This is
CFO
his-
based in the
he was
UK
speaking of the-
died from a sporting accident, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another famous pizza chain, apparently it was Popo's Pizza or something.
Mhm.
They're, the leader of that organization also died within the week of Domino's, the leader of Domino's dying. So I'm starting to think Papa may be behind it. This is his day of reckoning.
This is what he meant by the day of reckoning. Oh
He's taking
god.
down the heads. And now he claims
You see, Duck here in chat makes a point. At this rate, he isn't Papa John, he is Father John.
he's Father Jonathan,
The Oracle of
Far Cry
Pizza.
5.
the Oracle of the Pizza Reckoning.
It's like the flying spaghetti monster, except it's a giant flying pizza.
Oh yeah, we actually can't say the name of that flying spaghetti monster because it'll get us banned off Twitch. But
We could still call it the flying spaghetti monster.
yeah, the flying spaghetti monster, except it's a flying pizza.
Exactly.
Wait, no, that's the Italian military. I'm sorry,
That's their Air Force.
it's the Italian Air Force. Yeah, so Papa John's New Year resolution is literally to eat 50 pizzas in a month. His wife has left him. He
He's
has
totally
nothing
gonna
left to
do it, and
lose.
he's gonna eat even more. All right, it's
Yeah.
Papa John we're talking about.
The man's, his blood is literally pasta sauce and marinara.
D9 says Papa is going to cause the owner of Little Caesar to have a little seizure.
Oh, that. Oh man,
Shit.
dude, what if we lose Cece's, the man who owns Cece's,
I don't
That's gonna
know.
be
I don't know what we
sad.
do.
bruh? He's literally gonna become like Genghis Khan and start viciously destroying everybody and taking their pizza companies for his own.
You can't stop
Creating-
him.
He's gonna create the new pizza empire.
We have to give him the entirety of the U.S.
On in the future.
Yes, the entirety of Italy.
to satisfy him and all of his
Yes.
pizza cravings.
He wants the moon for its cheese.
He wants to ransack the moon so he can have unlimited cheese for all his pizza.
Oh, he's gonna set up a Papa John's on the moon.
Yeah.
He's gonna conquer
Oh.
the moon before any of us does.
Oh man.
He's far too advanced.
Bruh, speaking of the moon, remember when India tried to land one of those? They tried to land a lander on the moon like a while back. In
Did they?
November? Yeah, and it failed. Like they legit failed. It was an so it was an unmanned craft that they were trying to land on the moon, and the whole time they were filming it, they didn't actually film them landing. They filmed a bunch of people. So like the whole live stream wasn't just like the lander attempting to land. It was like multiple people talking, and they actually ended up missing it crashing into the moon. Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, at least it wasn't manned.
Oh yeah, thankfully it wasn't manned. But so apparently the president or something was talking, and they were basically saying how great they were right as it crashed. And it's hilarious. Ugh. Lunar disasters.
Funny.
Papa John is getting all the power in the world, and we're all gonna die soon. For our next topic, though, something that is dying right now is Fallout 76.
Oh yeah. Mm.
Yeah, this is gonna be like all six here.
So Fallout 76,
Yeah. Like
also known
viciously
as
pelvic
fucking
thrusting.
Disaster 76,
Mm.
got even worse after Fallout
Mm.
first and the disastrous launch, yada yada yada, because of hackers stealing people's inventories and also spawning like items from
Pridwin.
Fallout 4 into the game. It's
Dude,
crazy
they
shit,
spawned
really.
Preston Garvey. They spawned Preston Garvey from Fallout 4. They spawned the Pridwin. And hackers have been saying, the reports aren't true yet. We haven't been able to confirm them, but they've been saying that they were able to spawn Alduin from Skyrim.
Bro, Skyrim.
All of the games are interconnected.
They are, because they're all on the same system. They all use the same code. Yeah, so apparently, there's a special Scorch Beast Queen that has the same coding as Alduin from Skyrim. So they're saying it might actually just be Alduin.
He's already in the game.
Yeah, because he's in the game files, and they're saying, because the Pridwin's in there, they're just saying Alduin's probably in there, because Bethesda obviously smacked Fallout 76 together, like, in a day. Well,
Yeah, they just
but-
pulled everything out from other games that are far better.
Oh yeah, they gutted everything just to make Fallout 76, and I'm still playing it just out of spite.
Just to
literally
see.
bought, like- I literally bought a PlayStation Plus subscription for a year so I can watch how it fails.
That's dedication. That is certainly
is.
some level of dedication.
Yeah, I am level 60 now in Fallout 76.
Jeez.
I don't think that's
God
something,
help me.
I don't think that's something to be proud of, but that's
It isn't. It isn't. But it was easy.
It's like saying you can beat Plants vs. Zombies blindfolded. Like, it's certainly impressive to an extent, but I think you should feel more ashamed, if anything.
Dude, I just want to say, I have tried my hardest not to glitch anything, not to cheat, not to do anything in Fallout 76. But the glitches keep coming from me. And they've been... Now, hear me out. The glitches have all the glitches I've encountered have been useful to me.
Jesus.
I literally, like, you know in Fallout, you can't wear a Deathclaw gauntlet with power armor?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's overpowered, and it gives, like, power armor gives you extra strength. Deathclaw gauntlet levels with strength. So, I got into my power armor, I was hit by something while wearing my Deathclaw gauntlet, and it bugged out, so I had both on.
Oh no.
I almost one-shot a Scorch Beast Queen. One of the hardest enemies in the game. At level 60.
God damn. It's unstoppable.
Yeah, the thing was 20 levels higher than me. I almost one-shot it. Bethesda, don't ban me, but please, I'm trying. Todd Howard, please, I'm still playing your game. Give me some credit.
He's
man.
like the
Don't
only
ban
one
me.
still playing your game.
I really am.
They have a player base of like 5, and he's one of them.
All the other
The saddest
people
thing
who are
is fucking. Okay, so get this. So Fallout 76 had a longer lasting player base than fucking Lawbreakers. That's just that's
Actually,
sad to me.
it also had a longer player base than Battleborn.
I think a
But nobody
fly's
cares about-
lifespan has a longer player base than Battleborn.
Yeah, you're right. Also, I just want to say, the class warfare from Fallout First members and regular members is still going on to this day, and it's great.
God.
I revel at both of their failures because they just constantly attack each other. Well, I'm just there,
Also,
like, just
in the middle
trading.
of our podcast, I made another meme that you guys can check out on the Stocks and Hell account. Hey, shameless promotion, shameless plugging.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Yeah, at Saxon Hale. How could
18.
you have made this when a podcast is going? Look, this is a comment right here on Twitter. Let me tell you, it's called
Because
double
we're
tapping,
gods. We are legit gods. I have made shitty memes on this podcast. I have made way too many
You
postal
guys can
memes.
check it out. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good meme, you know. Check it out. Don't forget to donate to my Patreon.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe you'll get into my premium Snapchats.
Premium,
shit.
premium Saxon Hale
It's good.
Snapchat.
It's totally
It's
a
just
good meme. Okay,
It's the
a
same
great
picture over and
meme.
over again.
Yeah. Don't ask me how I made a meme while the whole podcast was going. I just did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so
so
Fallout 76 is burning. It's burning.
It's burning. It's
right
burning
before
alive.
it's burning before its first DLC. You know, everybody's left because we're waiting for Bethesda to actually start releasing Wastelanders, which will be in like around December, January, February. So the player base is already down.
I can't wait to see how they fuck it up.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Like
not gonna
that's
be
the
bad.
story of AAA now. I can't wait
It's
to
gonna
see
be
how they
good.
fuck it up.
Just like cats.
Honestly. You know, speaking about really fucked up things that give me nightmares, let's talk about the movie Cats.
Cats.
Um,
Bro, we're moving through this too fast.
Alright, hold on.
Yeah,
Let me pull up the meme you just fucking posted on Twitter.
Oh yes.
I'm going to
Oh,
show this
God.
to
Wait,
all
wait.
3 people that are watching.
Oh boy. Let me see it. I'm actually gonna look it up on our
don't do it
own
just yet.
Twitch.
Don't do it just yet. Don't do it just yet.
Alright, it's paused.
Alright, let me see this on the
Oh
actual. I know I made it.
boy. Oh
I wanna
god,
see it
Jesus.
on- I want to see it live.
Alright, well tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready. I just got double vision, so just play it.
You ready, Sax? Okay.
Yep, I'm ready to watch this shit.
You get your popcorn.
Boil.
Get your popcorn.
I got my water.
And also, Red Hoobie, you better be watching.
I am.
Thank you, Saxton Hale. Very cool.
Very, very epic. Is that Nostalgia Critic? I love that guy. He did a funny meme.
Nostalgia Critic intro. I
Uh,
just the intro is just
It's
Right for
iconic.
meme material.
Truly a gamer
Right.
moment.
Indeed. When he said, "I remember it, so you don't have to," I felt that.
It's a great show. Totally. Not really.
Oh yeah.
But
So
the
much
intro is
quality.
insanely memeable. Okay, I haven't seen enough memes of the Nostalgia Critic intro, so
Dude, that's gonna be the
I'm here to
first meme of
contribute.
2020. Also, speaking of
Hopefully.
2020, before we actually start our topic that we were, not to go on another tangent, but apparently a bunch of people are trying to bring back the emo goths from like the 2010s, and they're calling it the Roaring 20s. I
Oh,
want to
no.
die.
Let's not. Let's not.
I want to die.
Please,
Can we bring
no.
back like some Filthy Frank comedy though? Because that was kind of lit.
But in my opinion, that kind of comedy is really hard to pull off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because most of the time you have to like tread that line of just somebody saying the N-word 20 times over and adding nothing else to it, and then actually being legitimately funny.
Dark comedy is
Or
very
like,
hit
or
or miss.
better yet, can we get like Max Mofo comedy where it's literally just people doing stupid stuff and hurting themselves? Because that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
You gotta admit, Deadly Twister was pretty lit.
Forever
Yeah,
miss
yeah,
Papa
actually-
Franco.
Papa Franco,
Yes.
Max Mofo, and iDubbbz are still doing stuff though, so that's not.
Mm.
iDubbbz is
Yeah,
hanging
but
out with
still,
Michael
it's just-
Reeves.
Dark humor like that is very hard to pull off. Filthy Frank could because he had a comedic talent.
Yeah,
You
comedic
can't
talent
really say
is
that
the
about
most
most people here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta
He
have good
walks
timing.
that tightrope of like edgy enough to be funny, but not going overboard.
Hmm.
But I
It was
haven't
the
seen a lot of
perfect
creators do
storm.
that.
The perfect storm. And we'll probably never
Anyway,
see anything like that.
let's get
again.
back on the topic of Cats.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Cats.
Cats.
The horrifically bad movie was horrifically like unwatchable CGI that gives me fucking
Mhm.
nightmares.
It's got
Every time I
that,
close my eyes, I just see the fucking mice I saw on my feed at one time.
Dude,
Oh
it's got like
God.
some real. It's got like
It's
that.
some-
What is it? Hidden Valley. Like no, not Hidden
It
Valley.
has,
That's
yeah,
Ranch.
no, it has Hidden Value as the best horror movie of 2019.
No, not Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley is Ranch. I'm talking about that Unreal Valley. Unreal Valley.
Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley.
That's
That
what it
there it
was.
is.
Yes.
Uncanny Valley.
I was thinking
But
of
it
Ranch.
does have a value though. It does have a value, and the value
Yes,
is
I was close.
movie of 2019. It actually got me really scared.
Mhm.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. They made a great horror movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Cats was
did.
a great horror movie. It was a great body horror movie. Especially
Mm.
that scene where the cat ripped off its own skin. Because that is an actual scene in the movie.
Christ.
Christ.
That thing.
cat rips,
So,
yeah, so.
go ahead.
A cat rips
the
off
Cats
its own
movie-
skin to
Okay, the
reveal it's
Cats
wearing
movie is
another
actually
suit.
getting- Okay, get this. This is really rich. The Cats movie, after losing $70 million, is getting basically fucking DLC to re-release
Mhm.
later on with fixed CGI.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to pull like a Sonic the Hedgehog, but like that was before the movie release.
Worse.
Come on.
Yeah,
Actually, I had
it's
seen somebody do edits on Twitter that looked better than the actual finished product by a
Exactly.
massive company. It's just like, it's really just the faces. They just need to make the faces more cat-like, and then perfect.
Yeah. So you want to hear something worse?
What?
So these DLC fixes, get this, they're not fixing the faces. They're only fixing the parts where they missed CGIing their hands. That's it.
Yeah, the faces were completely intentional, which is fucking retarded.
It's worse. Also, apparently there's literally scenes where you can tell that they're not, like their entire body isn't CGI'd to look like a cat. And it literally, they literally just look like they have a cloth wrapped around them.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I would have been fine with them wearing, like, great market value fucking Walmart cat costumes over this shit.
Yeah. And you want to know something worse about the Cats movie?
What?
Remember Balto? The movie Balto, like the animated one.
I don't.
So look, it was really nicely animated. The whole movie was hand animated, like the classic cartoons, like
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, like all the classic Disney movies.
Yeah, hand-drawn animation.
Mm-hmm. So originally they were supposed to make an animated version of Cats, and you can look up the animation, like the original pictures, and like I forget what they're called, like the concept art, and it looks really good. It looks amazing. But the studio fell apart before they could make it.
Oh no.
They literally had like concept art. They had like test shots. They had some of the songs already like drawn out and animated, but they fell apart before they could finish. So we could have gotten an actual really well animated movie, but we got this abomination instead.
Mm. That actually kind of reminds me of the Popeyes movie, because the Popeye movie was supposed to be made by the same creator as Samurai Jack.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you know what it got blown over for? It got canceled for. This one's really gonna make you laugh. The fucking Emoji Movie.
Yeah, like
I hate
that was
my
a
existence.
big disappointment of this decade.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
movie failed, right?
Yes, it
made money.
horrifically failed.
Mm-hmm.
So they made a bad
Bruh.
call. Clearly.
There was literally a case where there was only one person in the theater watching that movie.
Yeah. So you want to hear about another movie, another couple of movies that bombed horrifically in the past few months?
Yes.
The
Yep.
Playbo. Remember the Playmobil movie
No.
No.
that came out last month?
Jesus.
Oh.
Or
Did?
better yet, remember Arctic Dogs?
The what?
Arctic Dogs.
Arctic Dogs. Nope. Doesn't.
That
ring a
also
bell.
came out last month.
And I'm guessing they both bombed.
Yeah. The Playmobil movie has been slated to be like the worst animated movie of the decade. And it came out at the end of the decade. And like I legit want y'all to look up like the revenue from both of those movies, and I bet how much you want to bet like they're like 1% of the actual money they spent on it. Like, Jesus.
What the fuck?
What,
The
you-
Playmobil movie.
Yeah.
It's like off-brand Lego.
That's what Playmobil is.
It's horrible.
Exactly.
Yeah, basically.
Now Arctic
And
Dogs.
they
also
wanted to make a
came out-
movie out of this when the Lego movie itself isn't that bad.
Yeah, the Lego movie was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other movie?
You know that Arctic Dogs.
Alright.
You see, that's another thing about the Playmobil movie. Unlike the Lego movie, this one's animated, not stop motion animated.
Oh, no.
So they just did like the equivalent of a Chinese knockoff.
Yeah, it looks
they
like
didn't even put the effort.
it looks like one of those off-brand Disney movies.
What, Arctic Dogs?
Yeah, like it has a higher budget and of course, but
Yeah, but that's another thing about Arctic Dogs. I saw the trailer for it in theaters, I was sitting down in a theater and I was gonna watch Rise of the Skywalker, and a trailer for Arctic Dogs came on.
mhm.
I legit thought this was an indie movie or like better yet, I thought this was like an old movie, because it looks like a movie that came out in like the 90s or like early 2000s. Its premise, this music that's playing during the trailer, everything. It legit reminds me of an old movie that came out like around Alvin and the Chipmunk.
A 28 on Metascore and a 4.2 on IMDb.
It deserves
Awesome.
less. It deserves a 4. That .2 is not worth it, because then it gets a 420, and that's not worth it. That's not dank. It's not cash money.
Jeez. Some really awful shit came out this year. real
Oh, yeah,
bad.
some real,
Yeah, you know, speaking
some
of
real
Six,
good old
Six,
stickers.
uh,
Yeah.
Speaking about some really bad movies, Six has a really bad movie to talk to you guys about.
Well, it's not. It's subjective. I just want
The
to say, like,
new
I want to
I
preface this. I would just want to
yeah
say this before the Star Wars nerds rip you apart, because I am one. They will literally they will rip your throat out with their own teeth, like vicious dogs. They will tear you apart. I just want to say this. It's objective. Everything's objective. Please don't kill me. Please, no.
I'm also going to say I've literally never watched a Star Wars movie in my entire life.
I'm legitimately gonna.
show for a little bit.
I'm going to force both of y'all to watch Star Wars at this point, since neither of you have seen it.
I'm just not a fan of sci-fi personally.
Yeah, well,
I like space movies.
let me take a quote from The Mandalorian. It's a bunch of space wizards that kill shit.
Yeah.
That's a quote. Thank you. That's a quote from The Mandalorian, minus the word shit.
The only thing I liked was like little baby Yoda just going around.
Shut up.
I'm open.
I got a
anything,
picture of.
okay?
I literally have a figure of a scout trooper that's now positioned to look like he's punching, just because of that scene.
I love baby Yoda. He's like this small little gremlin.
Yeah, he got punched in the face by like. It's funny. Anyway, opinions are subjective, but if you like Rise of the Skywalker, I don't know what to tell you. Because look, the entirety of Rise of the Skywalker literally just undermined everything from all the previous movies. The entire movie basically tells the director from the last movie to go like fuck himself, because they undermined so much stuff from the last episode, from the last one. And then on top of all that, good old Senate man, he comes back from the dead because he never really died. He's got like gross bone fingers, which I did like. Like, I legit did like his design because it was fucking amazing. He's like hooked up to the wall. He's got like a gigantic metal arm sticking out of his back, and he's like floating around because of the metal arm. His fingers are all bent, like they're all burnt away, and you can see bones sticking out, which is a bold move considering it's a Disney movie. So, yeah, I literally made a pros and cons list for this movie. So let me give you a quick rundown, because if I start talking about this movie in like seriousness, it'll take all day. So here's the pros. Palpatine. Palpatine literally base boosted the resistance out of the sky. That's a thing that happened in the movie. Palpatine said, "Do it," like twice. And he said a bunch of quotes from the prequels, which is great. Always good. You can hear, and in one scene, you can hear Past Jedi, which is epic, because they brought back the original voice actor for, like, Ahsoka Tano. They brought Ewan McGregor in. They brought back Hayden Christensen. And that dude's been living under a rock. So yeah, those are the pros. Y'all understand what I'm saying here, or am I
No
just saying
clue.
space wizards? Okay. All I want to say is that the best part of the movie is that he base boosted an entire spaceship out of the sky. And like, I'm not lying. Disney literally added in a base boosted sound effect. And he launches his like finger lightning into the air, and it shoots a bunch of people down. It's great. Because you just see him go like, unlimited power, and then it's great. And then a bunch of people are like, oh no, we're gonna die. And it's like really cheesy. So here's the cons. I'll make this short because there's a lot of cons. So this entire movie's action. There's like no character development. And when I say no character development, I just want to remind you that for the past two movies, one of the characters have literally had the same character arc twice. They repeated one of the dude's character arcs twice. I have to say it twice because that's what they did.
Okay.
Like remember the black stormtrooper dude?
Never watched
Like,
Star Wars.
Okay, so like this dude's a stormtrooper. They took him in they basically stole him as a kid so they would force him into the military. And like he's all messed up from that mentally. You got that good old-fashioned PTSD that they'd never go into. So he's also supposed to be like, it's kind of revealed and implied that he's a space wizard as well. I'm using very basic terms so y'all can understand this. I don't want to make y'all sound stupid or anything, but this is pretty much how Star Wars sounds to everybody. So basically, it's implied that he's a space wizard, and then they never go anywhere with that. Okay, so and for the first movie, his entire plot is that like he escapes, and like he doesn't want anything to do with either of the sides, so he's just trying to get out of there, right? That's his entire plot for the first movie. And like he learns courage at the end, and he's all like, I'll fight for y'all because y'all are doing something right. Next movie, he's trying to get away from the people he's agreed to fight with immediately. And then he gets tasered, gets brought back onto the ship, learns everything all over again, fights another big bad guy, goes, you know what, y'all are right, I'll fight with y'all. That's his entire plot for the next movie. They completely gloss over the fact that he might be a space wizard. And that's what they did with that dude. Alright, so next thing that I didn't like is that the ending kind of sucked. So, y'all mind if I'm gonna say a spoiler, but considering neither of y'all actually watched it, I don't know if this will bother y'all. Yo, Hoovie, how do you feel? You mind if I dip into them spoilers?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't really like Star Wars anymore.
Alright, cool. Welcome to the club, man. Anyway, so the ending, so there's basically this big bad guy, Kylo Ren. He's basically Darth Vader for this. He's literally dressed as Darth Vader. He's literally a Darth Vader fanboy. He's basically put out to be like a genocidal evil asshole. And at the end, he just goes, this guy's worse than me. I might as well, like, give my life so this person I've been trying to kill for, like, forever can win. And then he dies. And that's supposed to be his heroic sacrifice. Even though he literally he gives her a kiss, dies. That's it. After being base boosted into a pit of lightning. Alright, next con, because there's actually quite a lot of cons. Rey is literally, like, the main character, the main female lead is literally told, like, she's told the entire movie, like, the entire movie's literally telling her, like, it's okay to be yourself, you should be yourself, right? Like, that's not easy it's an easy to understand concept. You can get a real good, nice movie out of that. Y'all get that? Like, I feel like I gotta keep checking in, because, like, I feel like I'll lose y'all if I don't. So, like, she's told to be herself the whole movie. And it's revealed, like, at the beginning of the movie, she's Palpatine's granddaughter. You know, the big evil dude who shoots lightning out of his fingers. It's great. So, at the end of the movie, she's on, like, a... just saying, and, who are you? And she looks at her and she goes, I'm Rey Skywalker. Which isn't... So basically, she completely undermined everybody and said, nah, I don't want to be who I am. At that point, I remember somebody going, like, they said right as she said that, they were like, bruh, she should have looked into the camera and said, I'm Rey Star Wars. At that point, I would have just clapped. I would have clapped and cried. I would have been like, this is amazing. This is a masterpiece. Because at that point, I would have known, like, they didn't care. They didn't try. Yeah. Also, they made a whole big deal about, like, these Sith troopers and the Jet troopers showing up. They showed up for one scene, and they were never seen again. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
In.
Yeah. Basically, this whole thing was a middle finger to every fan ever. The Mandalorian, on the other hand...
Six, you forgot to give it an arbitrary number at the end.
-7.
Oh, shit.
Give me my shitty prequel memes. Because at least that movie's hilariously bad.
Movie sucks.
I've spent my entire life with Star Wars. I have four different collections on my shelf right now. I got every sort of collectible. I literally have the original figurines for like the 1977 movies. Yeah. You have any idea how much of a pain in the ass that was to find?
Difficult, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah, because I bought that in 2010 when they were worth practically nothing. Because nobody gave a shit about Star Wars back then, and it was still considered nerd stuff. And back then, being a nerd meant you got your ass beat. So that means I got a bunch of expensive stuff for practically little to nothing. So it was worth it. It was worth it. Also, George Lucas, you piece of shit.
Alright, on to the other topic so people can talk.
Yes, y'all,
Alright,
y'all
so
should have
Logan
talked.
Paul totally sucked the guy off.
Mhm.
Apparently. Not
Also,
really. It was a
yeah.
video was trending on Twitter recently of apparently Logan Paul blowing some guy off. Actually, it wasn't the case. It was a porn star who looked almost identical to him. Personally, I thought it was him for the longest time, and I'm
Mhm.
kind of sad it isn't him because you know.
Apparently
it
it's
would have been nice.
apparently.
To know.
I just want to preface this. I never saw the video, but apparently his head game was great.
I saw like clips of it, and
I
it
refuse to
wasn't
look
it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad.
This is coming from the gay guy, alright?
Hey, I mean, this is coming from the
Well,
bi
he
guy.
has, like-
I'm not into that. That dude ain't my type.
I'm not into Logan Paul men, so
Hey, I mean, he went from filming dead bodies to fighting a dude to sucking a guy off at the end of the year.
I mean, it's certainly a roller coaster.
It's a redemption arc. At this point. It's his redemption arc.
Logan Paul sucks a guy up to redeem himself.
He starts uploading on Pornhub instead. It's a redemption arc. Yeah. So, in related news to that, apparently James Charles looks like more like a woman now.
When doesn't he?
No, like he's
He's
got
very
long
hot boy
hair now.
guy,
And it
I
looks
mean.
really to a point where some people thought he looked like Kylie Jenner, and when Kylie Jenner posted something for Christmas, a bunch of the comments were like, "Oh shit, I thought this was James Charles." Also,
I've seen it
Charles.
plenty of times in the. If you don't mind me speaking here for a bit,
oh yeah, go ahead, man. This is
I've-
a podcast.
I've seen it plenty of times in the LGBT community of, like, a gay guy going, like, pretty much just being going from, like, being just normally extremely flamboyant to pretty much what James Charles is doing. I've seen it happen a lot. And,
Yeah, it's like
yeah, a lot of my friends who aren't in that community really don't like those kind of people.
oh really? Y'all don't like that shit?
No, I'm saying my friends who aren't in the LGBT community really
Oh.
don't like it.
I mean, I can't complain.
I'm perfectly fine with it. I couldn't care less what he does.
I mean, I'm interested now. Is all I can say.
Like, he can do whatever he wants with his life. I don't care. But
Yeah.
a lot of people just don't like it. It's all down to, like, subjective taste, but
It's a complicated subject to speak on. It's
yeah.
like, yeah. Some people feel betrayed by that. I'm over here like, it's not bad. I can't help.
Alright, you can stop now.
I can't help it. Alright, I'm stopping. I'm
Alright.
putting the brakes on the horny train here. Yo, what do you think, Sax? Or what about you, Heavy? I need y'all's opinion on this.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's awkward. I'm trying to break the ice here because I made it too awkward and I realized that. I don't know. Ugh. Alright, on to the next subject.
Yep.
Oh, damn, oh, no.
Speaking of traps, apparently the Impossible Whopper has estrogen in it.
Oh, oh, you didn't.
I had to, alright?
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, that's good. I didn't expect you to actually go like that. Oh, man. Yeah. Y'all
Guys,
hear about?
the
Y'all
Impossible
heard about
Whopper
that?
has estrogen.
The last thing you want in your Impossible Whopper is
Whopper is
estrogen.
estrogen.
But as it turns out, that might be exactly what you get.
The worst part is the Whopper is Burger King, so it is.
So
the
yeah,
meat.
basically,
It's not going to get eaten.
basically the far right
Or-
were all like,
or-
"Oh, guys, the Impossible Burger Whopper has fucking estrogen. It's gonna make you into a woman." And
Actually-
it's
Apparently,
one of the most
So-
like dumbest things I've ever like heard in my life, honestly.
apparently it does. Like, somebody actually tested it, and it does have estrogen in it. But
Like, unless it has an extreme amount of estrogen in it, and somebody's
it
eating
has to
like
have
12 of them a day, then you're going to be fine. Because both men and women have estrogen, they just have different amounts of it.
yeah, like men obviously have less because we don't have titties, except for fat people. But they're an exception. Anyway,
Don't make fun of me.
it's different. I will because I am a Giga Chad who has lost like 4 pounds in this month. Yeah, but you said like people aren't gonna eat it now. I don't know about that. Some people might eat it more.
I mean, I know a certain few people who definitely would.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't a. Oh damn it! I gotta stop. I'm stopping myself. I'm stopping myself. Yeah, but burgers got
Impossible
estrogen in
Burger
it.
makes you, guys, the Impossible Whopper makes you into a woman.
Guys, the Impossible Whopper, it causes you to grow breasts. And not because you're fat. It's a different thing. Like, legit breast.
Like one whole breast.
Like chicken breast.
So,
Ugh.
let's move on to the main meat of this podcast and possibly the next part of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So 2019's over. How do
Oh
you guys
shit.
feel about
We
it
skipped the
as a whole?
Mandalorian, I just realized that.
Yeah, because we don't know anything Star Wars. So,
Man
we
in
have to
suit,
skip
punch
forward.
baby. Done. That's
But-
it, there you go.
Let's
Amazing.
see. The year review is gonna take a long time, and we're probably gonna be on a podcast to, cover everything that happened this year. So
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like giving it a loving little tribute to 2009 mediocre year at best and a pretty crappy year at worst. I feel like we should give it a little tribute. A little send off for the people who
So-
still
So let's go ahead and describe our the most impactful moment of 2019 in your opinion. I'll
Heavy, how about you
let
go?
Six
Oh.
start us off. Oh, okay. Who?
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought we were
Heavy.
gonna start with guess, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes. Go ahead. Your most impactful moment of 2019.
I guess for me personally, it would be like starting out, like social media, I guess,
Mm.
because I got to meet like new people. Because, like last year, I was like really scared of social media because it was like this mysterious object.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, I kind of met some cool dudes.
Oh yeah. I feel like that's a really good one. That kind of applies to all of us. I know it applies to me because I met some really great friends here in this community, and heck, we branched out quite a bit. We've done a lot of stuff. Sex, you made it to 5,000. We started this podcast.
Yeah.
It's been a good- yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna tell you, I have no idea how that happened, but it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Well, let's go up the list. Jack, how about you? What's your most impactful moment of 2000?
It's a bit depressing, but I can't think of anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, like, they're starting this podcast and all, but, like, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love you guys, but
Yeah.
I just can't think of anything.
Like nothing that's really moved you in any
No.
way? Really?
Yeah.
How about you, Sax?
I guess you got almost always out of the way. The fact that I reached fucking 5K and I'm nearly at 6K already after. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it took a long time just to get to 1K. So the mere fact that I got to 5K after a few months is completely insane. I never expected any of my tweets to go viral. By viral, I mean at least above, 1,000 likes. That's what I consider like out there, you know.
Mhm.
And now that's my like regular number of like attention I get on the post. I get a good amount of attention every time I post, and it's really encouraging, really. I know I said I'm burnt out on jokes, and I am because it's hard to sustain a parody account trying to say jokes like over and over and over. Because come on,
Yeah.
I'm not like a joke expert. I need to really think every time I post. So
Yeah, for all the shit people give them, parody accounts can actually be really difficult to run well.
It's really difficult to run. Like, I feel like that on its
They are.
own should be a topic.
Yeah.
The change in the community, how this podcast changed overall. Like, we went from being a legit parody podcast to, well, a parody podcast.
The name hasn't changed, but
Yeah,
what we generally
name
do has.
the name hasn't changed, but I feel the meaning of the word parody has changed.
Yeah.
It's gone from like referring to the Twitter community to like it's a joke podcast,
Oh.
and that was the meaning of the word. But yeah, well, maybe we'll go over that like next as a topic if this doesn't go as long as we expect
how
it
about
to.
instead of what happened to us, how about general events of 2019 that we would like to talk about?
Mm.
There's a lot
I feel
of
like
stuff went down in 2019, like a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. We went down with
Yeah.
with a fucking bang, okay?
Mhm.
Like, it happened.
Yeah. I feel like I should go last for like what I want to talk about for 2019 because that's gonna be hella depressing.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all might know what I'm gonna talk about, but yeah.
What?
Y'all should go first.
No, you should go
'Cause it's-
first.
Are you sure? Because it's really gonna bring down the mood here.
I mean, unless you guys have something else to say.
I don't have any plans for anything really.
Well, okay. So, the most impactful thing that happened to me this year was, well, the death of Etika. Like that shit hit me hard.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like blocked out of my mind after it happened. I just didn't really want to think about it too much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it certainly hit me. Like, the whole ordeal hit me like last night because it'll be the first year without him. And like that shit hit hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sadly, yeah, it feels kind of hollow.
Yeah.
It's just he was a pretty influential creator, and I saw him a lot.
He wasn't the biggest guy, but
throughout the.
his stuff always made it far.
Yeah, man, I'm just they went the few days leading up to when they found his body were really nerve-wracking for me.
They were very hectic.
Man, it's a shame to find out he was dead.
Yeah. I remember where I
it's weird
was
to
when
see
I
such
found
a
out.
popular creator just like go like that. You really don't expect this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Man, I remember where I was when I got the notification. It's stupid to think, but like I was taking a piss. Like I was in school. Like I went to the bathroom to go take a piss and I got the notification. And like it didn't hit me until I got home. It's weird to think. Like this is legitimately like a hard topic. But I feel bad for bringing it up because it brought the whole like sort of thing down. I feel bad about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. Things like that do have to be addressed.
It does. It feels better like to talk about it. I feel like everybody should talk about this sort of thing because it makes it better.
Eases the pain a bit.
Yeah. Well, on a lighter subject, y'all want to talk about the community? What it's devolved into?
Let's talk about a few good things that happened this year. Capcom. Have you guys played Resident Evil 2, the remake?
Oh yeah, yeah. Resident Evil 2 has been looking really nice.
Yeah. Capcom can make games apparently, and Resident Evil 2 was better than I expected. I
Mhm.
mean, I didn't have low expectations for it. Don't get me wrong. It was a remake of like Resident Evil 2.
Mhm.
So turns out Capcom can make games again. Wow, what a shocker.
It's the loop for them. It's the
Yeah,
same
Capcom has
fucking
been
loop.
getting better as of recently.
It's the same loop with Capcom. It's like they have this little loop of, oh hey, we can make games now, and then it just goes on to them shitting the bed for a good couple years.
I mean, they can't
depends
do
on their
any-
moods, I guess.
They can't do any worse than what is it? Who owns Metal Gear Solid?
Oh,
I blocked them from my mind.
Oh, Metal Gear Survive? Oh man.
Konami?
That.
Yeah,
That's
Konami. They
Konami.
can't do any worse than Konami. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Konami went from the company who had that really good developer to now the reincarnation of Hitler but in video game form.
Dude, they
They're systematically killing off every one of their franchises to now make fucking pachinko machines.
yeah.
Silent Hills killed. No, fucking Metal Gear.
Silent Hills is gone, and I'm
And
so
then, well, now, and then,
depressed.
and then Kojima made a game this year, and people
Mhm,
liked it.
Death
apparently.
Stranding. Well, I
people
mean, Death
liked it.
Stranding.
Death Stranding is the most divided game I've ever seen all
Yeah.
year.
Because
Like,
I mean,
there's some people who like love the game, and other people hate
Mhm.
the game, and I just think it's really boring. And I'm
yeah. And then there's Kojima at the top, and he's going like, "Y'all are missing the point. It's political commentary about the U.S." even
I
though I'm a
understand.
Japanese
He's trying
dude.
to say, oh, because I'm dumb consumer. Like, all I know is shoot, guys. I only play Call
Game
of Duty.
fun.
I only know of shoot and third person shoot.
Brown game.
Don't
Brown
know.
shooter.
Um,
Why is it not brown?
Well, the thing is that like making I haven't played the game myself,
Michael.
but
Oh.
Michael Malloy has jumped in.
Oh, he hopped in.
Wow,
That's a bit unexpected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
How long is
I
it?
thought I scheduled.
we're 53 minutes in.
Well, I mean, if you want to say hi, you could. I mean, that's cool.
Well, he's muted right now, so for now I'll finish my statement.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you take away like the fun from a game to make a political statement, you are so pretentious and up your own ass. You haven't seen light since 1995.
Yeah. You see, that is one thing about Kojima, is that, like, everything he does has some sort of political commentary in it. And I understand you can make a really good game with that, but, him making political commentary on the United States while being a Japanese game developer, just, it doesn't feel right. It feels
People
like he's trying to
can make
cash in.
political.
I mean, you
They-
can,
yeah.
but
If they can be well informed, it's just I don't know how well informed he is.
and that's another thing about it, is that, like, when people started criticizing it, he started going like, "You don't understand, you don't get it." He immediately started going on the offensive and started attacking the people for like not understanding, which, in my opinion, isn't really a good move. Like,
That's never a
be
good
real
move to
accepting.
attack your fan base.
yeah,
That's the thing that kills off a fan base.
yeah. But then again, the Kojima fan base is ravenous. They love everything he makes, and while I am a
Like I said,
Kojima
it was a
fanboy
very
to a degree,
divided game release. Kojima fans
Yeah.
were fighting with people who hated the game, saying, "Oh, all you know is shoot, and if it's bad, you don't have no shoot." And then the other guys were all like, fucking, so I don't like this game. It's boring. It's a walking simulator, and it's just a war going on Twitter.
yeah, and most of it's died down now, but still,
Well, there's the thing with walking simulators. They can be really good. Like the Edith Finch game. I don't remember the entire name of it, but that was so good. Yeah, What Remains of Edith Finch?
It was a beautiful game, but it's not just a walking simulator. There's more to it. It's got elements. That's what makes it better.
Yeah, but it's a majority walking simulator.
Yeah, but like I'm just saying.
Yeah, there is
It's
like
a walking
bits
simulator,
of
but they,
the story, and it's what I'm saying is like the story in it is so solid and well made.
yes, they executed it well. Like they added so much to it that gave it a different feel. Like the atmosphere.
Like that's the thing walking simulators should aim to be.
Mhm. Like the soundtrack to What Remains of Edith Finch is like amazing. I love it so much.
Yeah, because if you're taking away like the main gameplay of a game, you have to replace it with something, and that thing better be damn good.
I mean, Death Stranding did have the ability to piss on the BTs.
Yeah, and I mean that does put it in the category of games with a dedicated piss button.
Yeah, but I mean, it'll never be as good as Postal. It'll never be as good as Postal's piss.
Yeah. You can't top Postal when it comes to the pissing category.
Especially the piss cannon from Postal 4. It
Exactly.
is too good. Too good.
I'm still waiting for that to come out of early access.
Oh yeah, but it's still like on sale.
Oh, you have a while.
Oh.
You have a while.
Yeah.
Postal
Like a
1
long
was
time.
Postal 1 was free recently. Like that's something I forgot to mention. Yeah, so I nabbed that as soon as I saw it. Thank you, Running with Scissors.
Isn't it like isometric?
Yeah, it's like the original Fallout games, which does take away from it, but still, it's funny. I love it. Running with Scissors, please sponsor us. Oh, what would you say, Michael? Would you like to introduce yourself since you hopped in?
I like Dark Souls.
Hey, same, man.
I do as well.
Favorite? Y'all got a favorite? I just want to know.
I prefer the first one.
That's fair. Michael, what do you like? Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh, there he is.
I accidentally unplugged my headphones.
Bruh. Also, you are a tad bit quiet. I just want to mention that.
Think you unplugged them again?
Bruh, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta get a longer cord, man. Tape it in, put some duct. I mean,
Bloodborne.
did you say Bloodborne is your favorite Dark Souls game?
You gotta pick like 1, 2, or 3. Like Bloodborne's a Souls-like, but not a Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's a Souls-like.
Like I'd even accept Demon Souls, but not Bloodborne.
Yeah. Or that's like saying Sekiro is a good.
Of the Souls-likes, though, I can definitely
Yeah,
respect a Bloodborne.
Of course, like I do respect Bloodborne as a Souls-like because it's good.
Yeah, it just strays away from the original Dark Souls formula, which 3 does as well, but...
Well, that and it's technically not in the universe. Well, Demon Souls can be in the universe. It depends on how much lore.
The lore around those games is fucking weird and convoluted.
Yeah. I spend way too much time into it. I've legitimately wasted years of my life looking into it.
Yeah, it's definitely something to suck you in. It's just too bad you'll never be able to come back out at the same man.
Yeah. Damn you, Miyazaki.
You and your convoluted
Bloodborne
story.
2. Make
Hello,
Bloodborne 2
my
already.
name is Michael Malloy.
Oh, there he is, and it's actually deep. That's good.
Alright, we can hear you.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
from Minnesota,
Oh,
and I've died several times.
that's pretty epic, not gonna lie.
Nice,
Anyway.
nice.
So, I kind of expected you to hop in the next stream, but since you hopped in, it's good to see you.
Yeah, we're just about to hit the 1 hour mark.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am.
It's fine, we'll tell you next stream.
Yeah. So, of course, we were talking about games and stuff, you know. I'm still waiting on a new Miyazaki game. Come on, FromSoft, give me something good, please.
I'm
Please,
still...
give me
I'm still waiting for that remaster of Demon Souls. I want it to
Dude.
happen, but Sony gotta have their fucking exclusives that they never acknowledge.
What do you? Well, it may come as an exclusive for like the PS5. It'll never go anywhere else.
Even so, just a remake of it would satisfy me.
Oh yes. Like I mean, they remade Resident Evil 4, which is a great game. Like, that gets real approval.
Yeah, but that was Resident Evil 4, not Demon Souls, a game that was kind of widely unknown.
Yeah.
What was
I mean,
that game that was announced at E3 this year? That FromSoft was partnering with someone else on.
Elden Ring?
Yeah. I'm excited.
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
that's never gonna happen. That's never gonna come out this year, or next year, or the next 5 years at this point.
Throwback to when fucking Bethesda had just the fucking, like, the
Oh, yeah,
font
just the
for
title
Elder
card.
Scrolls. That's all that there
Just like the
was.
title card, bruh.
It's like,
I'm
alright.
dying on the inside.
I can't wait 10 years to see the intro.
Dude, we're gonna get Half-Life 3 before Elder Scrolls. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
We're literally... It's over, boys. It's over.
PC gaming's now dead due to the fact that Valve has come back and sufficiently murdered everyone.
I don't know. PC gaming might be
We
revived
also
due to
murdered our
Valve.
wallets because not only do you have to get a VR headset to play Half-Life Alyx, but we also have to upgrade our computers to play Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a PC-less VR thing?
Yeah,
Doesn't
but it
that
can't play
exist?
it can't play Half-Life Alyx, dude. Half-Life Alyx
guess-
is a very intensive game. It's like
Hmm.
the minimum requirements are listen to these minimum requirements, right? 12 gigabytes of RAM, an
Mhm.
RX 580, and
Mhm.
a Ryzen 1600 as the minimum specs, not the maximum, the minimum.
Okay, so I have no idea what any of those are, but it sounds like big
Basically,
numbers.
you're fucked.
Computer parts. I do. What kind of computers you got?
I got a Dell
I got a
laptop.
pretty good computer.
I got a
pretty
Dell
nice.
laptop.
I got a pretty mid-tier PC, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
literally
do
posted
want to
my PC
eventually
setup.
get VR, but only for like 2 games, Super Hot VR and Beat Saber.
Oh, dude, same.
Oh,
That's why I
Super
wanted to
Hot
get the
VR.
wireless one. I literally, like, if I can't get Half-Life Alyx on there, I'll just get, like, Super Hot, Beat Saber, and maybe VR chat if I feel like a degenerate.
Yeah, I can finally play VR in VR chat and have an excuse to not talk to
Yes.
people.
Yes, I can now Orange Justice in VR.
No, why? Why would you do that?
I can simultaneously whip a Nene in VR and real life.
Oh no, you're giving him too much power.
I'm too powerful. I can make so many shitty, like, models. With my new laptop as well.
I actually really want to learn how to use
Holy.
Blender for making
yeah, me too.
models.
Yeah.
Because
Where do you even get Blender?
it's free on
Too much
Steam.
of- I'm too much of a boomer to understand. I apologize.
You can get it on. You can get almost anything on Steam.
Yeah, believe me. I looked at the Steam store recently, and you really can't get anything.
Since it's late, actually, I actually have to go somewhere now. Actually,
Yeah, we should be ending the podcast anyway. We've passed the hour mark.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like this sort of fell apart towards the end.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
it's a
Yeah,
it's a
I
comeback,
mean,
and
you
we
know-
still have a lot to talk about in terms of year
Yeah.
review. 2019
I just
was
want to say like,
an eventful
well,
year.
I mean, I just want to say this. This podcast started exactly how it started and ended exactly like 2019. Don't y'all realize? It started like really well structured and then fell apart completely at the end.
Hey,
And
Yeah,
I feel like
that
that's
was
it's very
2019.
poetic.
Can
Yeah,
I do
it's
the
very
outro?
poetic. You want to do the outro?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so basically, you just want to say like this has been the Parody Podcast, and then
Top of the morning,
basically-
you laddies. My name is Jacksepticeye.
how's it going, bros? My name is Markiplier. Today we're playing FNAF 76. Anyway, yeah, because there's this
go ahead,
FNAF game coming out again. Anyway, so like you do the outro. Basically, you just say this has been the Parody Podcast. You say your Twitter handle, like who you are, your Twitter handle. Then you like pass it on to the next person. All right, you got that?
Not really, but okay.
I mean, close enough, good enough. So you doing it or? Oh man, editing this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make this look beautiful. This is gonna be difficult.
All right. Well, this has been the Parody Podcast. Thank you everyone for watching. I am your boy Jack1 on Twitter. Six, you're up next.
I am also your host, your best host ever. Totally not horny on main all the time. Motherfucking mailman is my side Twitter now, and of course I am the Courier 6 on Twitter. This has been the Parody Podcast. Yo, Sax, sign off yourself. I don't know what I'm doing.
Sax, well, this has been the Parody Podcast. I'm Saxon Hill on Twitter, as most of you know. And at Saxon Hill __ because the actual Saxon Hill username has not been removed yet, and I will claim it when the time has come. Pooley, you want to say anything?
I don't know.
You just want to sign off?
Yeah. Thanks off.
I'm WhoBeRed on Twitter.com.
All right.
This has been.
All right. This has been the Parody Podcast. Everyone, have a good night.
Yeah.
Bye.